How you doing? Keep it moving. Fridays are beautiful. It's a good old Friday. Hope you go and have yourself a great night tonight, because I know I will be. And I will promise, I think I can promise that this will be the last video on this whole trade war tariff scenario. I know it's getting hot and heated because we're so close to that January 20th Monday. So politicians are always piping off at each other, crying about stuff, trying to act tough, trying to show that they are the man of the house. And so there's constant updates what's been going on in terms of what they're trying to tackle with policy, and more news was shared of like their two-tier approach that we're going to see from Canada on these retaliatory tariffs. The first wave will be worth $31 billion in retaliatory tariffs. The second wave, if needed, will be upwards of $110 billion that we're going to be looking to deliver to the American economy in pain. That's their goal. Tariff wars, as we know. But that's not the point of the video. That's just an update of what their plan is. They've kind of, Trudeau updated us this morning on that. But it was more so Danielle Smith's beautiful, eloquent, lay it the smack it down on Justin Trudeau in response to all the nasty attacks she's received from Trudeau, the Liberals, Carney, and then as well as Trudeau nudging and trying to push forward to say nasty things about Danielle. He's an awful human being, isn't he? Friggin' Trudeau, man. Whatever he can do to pit people against each other, that's what he does best. But Danielle is, as I said, a wise woman. She waits until she can hit you with the right hook. And she did that today, reminding everybody the last time a Trudeau imposed an export tax on Alberta oil. She said this in a post on X this morning, or this afternoon. Here's what happened the last time a Trudeau slapped an export tax on Alberta energy. Unemployment quadrupled from 3.7% to 12.4% as thousands lost their jobs. Home values plummeted 30% and thousands lost their homes. Bankruptcies rose by over 150%. Tens of thousands left the province, plunging us into a multi-year recession. Cost Alberta was between $50 to $100 billion. Our government is not going to sell out Albertans to another Trudeau export tax on energy. His dad crushed the lives of thousands in our province. We won't let his son do it to our people again, never. And that, my friends, is what we call a history lesson. One that Trudeau hopes to his uninformed voters doesn't understand. Low information people who support this Liberal Party, they don't know this stuff. This is why Smith is so fighting against this, because it's do or die for this province on these tariffs. We understand Canada's facing it all as a whole, that Alberta is the one thing Trump wants. Alberta is the center of all this, whether you like it or not. And she's not going to allow that to happen to her province again. And God bless her for it. What did Pierre Trudeau do in those days? Well, it was a similar scenario. The world was facing an energy crisis and oil was increasing a lot. So what Pierre Trudeau did is that he asked Alberta to freeze their oil prices, and then he turned around and put tariffs on it so the world couldn't buy the oil. What the government did was they ended up buying oil from Alberta for pennies on the dollar in comparison to what the world going rate was. He was extracting a viable resource from Alberta to give to the rest of the country, completely slashed a lot of money off what they would have made if they were able to export to the world without the tariffs imposed. And then the money he did collect from the tariffs of oil that was sold to the world, he took that and redistributed it across the country to put it into more federal programs to be implemented across the country. Again, a centralization of power. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Again, some of those details might be a little hazy, but from what I remember and what I've read, that's essentially what happened. And it plunged Alberta into what we see here. It took them years and years and years to recover from it. It was awful. And it's not the exact same scenario we're faced with today, but it's a similar issue. Using Alberta as a bargaining chip, just put some tariffs on it, they say. It'll be fine. We're all feeling the pain here in Canada. Just do it. Yeah, just doing it has a lot more of a cost than it does for the other provinces. And good on Danielle for standing up for her constituents. This is the battle we find ourselves in. This is what is happening. That is the update. And yet she's being labeled as a traitor and a sellout of the country of Canada. It's unfortunate, but I was glad to see her hit back with some facts to remind people what the Trudeau lineage has done to this country on multiple occasions. And she knows her history. She knows what he's done. She knows what's capable of when you apply tariffs to this energy, and she doesn't want to have any part of it. Fair play. And in the same breath, we have Freeland, who's officially announced that she is running for the Liberal leadership, which we saw that coming. Announced on a Friday. I think she's launching an announcement either Sunday Sunday or Monday. I think it's Sunday, actually. She's officially doing her announcement run to talk about what she's going to be doing. And then she decided to write a whole op-ed in the Toronto Star, or I guess the Star now that it's called, taking the same approach that we're seeing currently. A bunch of tough guys in Ottawa trying to act like they know what's going on and trying to be the boss. She said a wide variety of different things, but the one thing that really stuck out was this. President Donald Trump thinks tariff is the most beautiful word in the dictionary. He has spoken about redrawing borders and has threatened economic coercion to do so. While it may be tempting to turn the other cheek, we must take President Trump at his word. Hope is not a strategy and capitulation is not an option. Now is the time for us to be strong, united, and smart. Being strong means being clear with our American neighbors. We love our country just as much as you love yours. If you hit us, we will hit back. We will not escalate, but we will never back down. Being united means recognizing that our differences pale in comparison to our love for our country. We must urgently build the true Team Canada response, uniting every province and territory, business and labor, and Canadians from every walk of life. This is not a time for partisan agendas. Being smart means retaliating where it hurts. If President Trump imposes 25% tariffs, our counterpunch must be dollar for dollar, and it must be precisely and painfully targeted. She goes on to continue on this tirade of how we need to fight back, and how much money we can make off these tariffs, this, that, the other. And then she finishes us off with these last few sentences. That is why I'm so confident that we will ultimately get a good deal, but we need to be prepared to fight for it. When it came to fighting for our great country, previous generations of Canadians did not back down, and we won't either. And what she did here, as you'll see in the intro, she's comparing what Canada's going through to the battles of Vimy Ridge and storming the beaches of Normandy. These liberals know no bounds. They so badly want to be relevant. They so badly want to use whatever tool at their disposal, as they've said multiple times in these negotiations, to incite fear, exercise control over the population, and turn Canadians against each other. They're crapping on nationalism for their entire tenure across this administration. Changing national anthems, changing passports, vilifying protesters, freezing bank accounts, calling people who love the country racist, misogynists, and ultimately calling Canada a post-nationalist state. Now all of a sudden, they love their nationalism all of a sudden. Amazing how that works. Just shows you how manipulative they are and that you cannot trust them. So when the time comes for an election, remember all of this. How they will always change their tune, whether it be on the carbon tax, whether it be on nationalism, whether it be how they view Trump, whether how they view the states, whether how they view Danielle Smith, whatever it may be, they will always change their tune in order to keep power. But that is it for today. We will be covering tomorrow what has been going on as we bring in 5,000 people from Gaza, offering them $3,000 a person, plus an additional $1,500 for each child they bring in. We'll be covering that story tomorrow. Have yourselves a good one. Enjoy your weekend. I'm out. Before I end out, I actually just wanted to take some time to thank you all. We on this channel have just crossed over 50,000 subscribers, and it's to people like you, taking time in your schedule to watch what we're talking about, trying to inform you what's going on, and we're doing our best on our end, and we are very grateful. We also been receiving swaths of emails of people supporting or having questions, things to correct, things they want to adjust, things they really want to chat about. We appreciate all of you as well. Believe me, trust me, I'm actually getting to all those emails at this moment, trying my best to get there. So apologize in delay, but I promise I will be responding to all of them because I think they're very important. But I just want to let you guys know, you guys are great. And thank you for supporting this channel up to this point. Thank you for what you bring us. Thank you for the comment section. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for giving us your attention as we go through this very wild time in our Canadian history. Now, officially, have yourselves a good one. Now I'm out.